Are you going to visit the border, Mr. President, with Northern Ireland?
Well, that's an interesting border also. We have two interesting borders. One happens to be where you are, right? It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Now, his gesture just changed from this to this, so he tries to even be more to himself. He's now basically talking on, yeah, we have an interesting border, that's an interesting border, this is an interesting border. So he's trying to get this kind of, you know, automatic speech, so he tries to avoid any difficulties. He just talks on for the sake of talking, for the sake of, you know, being in some kind of automatic save mode. And therefore he's more to himself. Now the aggressive quality is gone, he's just keeping it to himself. He's kind of protecting himself. He's staying inside, you know. Because this is a much more, you know, defensive and but also active. He's now keeping it to himself, but still it's on a low kind of subconscious level.
It's my great honor to have the very popular Prime Minister.
So now two things happen. He wasn't feeling able to stay in this mode for very long, so he went back to this, because now he understands he's got to be more outward, and then when he speaks about the very popular Prime Minister, he opens his hands a little bit. Because he's kind of getting used to the situation, and he knows he's got to be a little bit more positive outward, but it's still a really small gesture.
Of Ireland with us, and we
so he tries to get back to this mode and being for himself, but he understands he has to talk on, and that needs him to plow through any further. You will also see, by the way, that he's looking downwards all the time. He's focused to himself. That's also an indication for being in like an internalizing mode. So he tries to concentrate, he tries to be for himself. He doesn't really want to be with his audience, he wants to be with himself.
We're having some good talks about trade and about military and about cyber and all of the other things that we're talking about.
So he's talking about a lot of things, but he doesn't really want to go into detail. Still in this defensive mode.
The relationship is outstanding.
The relationship is outstanding? Really? I mean, look at his face. The relationship is outstanding? Yeah, well, his whole face is like a grimace. He's looking away from the person he has an outstanding relationship with. You know, that's kind of... Why isn't he looking at him? He's looking away and to himself. So the relationship can't be that outstanding.
And only getting better. And
it's getting better. If it's so outstanding, you know, do you see the subtle conflict? I mean, I'm not saying an outstanding relationship can't be getting better, but the way he says it, the way his tonality and his body language goes, like, the getting better part again kind of contradicts the outstanding part. You know, if you were to say, we have an outstanding relationship, it's like amazing, and it's even getting better, that would be congruent. Now, I'm not saying it can't be getting better when it's outstanding, but, you know, basically what he's saying is not so good, he doesn't feel so happy, but maybe, yeah, it's improving a little bit, and that's why he's here in this interview.
it really is a very special group of people. A tremendous number of Irish are living in New York, where I...
Now he lightens up. There are special people that was still kind of weirdish, but now he's lighting up. He's actually looking to him. But you see, there's not so much connection really, because the Prime Minister looks down.
Grew up, and they're living in the United States, and...
Towards Trump. But he's not that convinced, you know. He's kind of like, okay, yeah, you're saying something nice. If you look at the body language of the Prime Minister, He's got that. He's staying to himself. Let him talk. I'm staying to myself. It's slightly uncomfortable. He's somebody who you can see is really able to deal with the situation of being amongst the press. He's relatively comfortable, but the fact that you're with Trump, you know, he's still got to keep it to himself. You know, he feels he's not perfectly comfortable with this. It's not this ideal conversation he has, but he's okay. He's keeping it to himself. Let him talk, basically.
These are truly wonderful people. We love them.
They are wonderful people. We love them. We love them. It's not we love them. It's we love them. We love them. I say it because I have to. We love them.
And Mr. Prime Minister, it's great to have you. Thank you.
Okay, watch this handshake. Do you see what he's doing there? Do you see what he's doing there? It's kind of this type of a handshake. It's almost like an arm, you know, like an arm lock in a martial art. He's holding his hand like this. This is a very typical handshake for Trump. He's doing that a lot. So this is a weird type of handshake. It's like, you know, Trump offers his hand. It looks like it's open, but then he's kind of twisting it in. So he has this control, and the other person's arm is pretty much like this. And they're in a very weak position, which is a dominance move that Trump uses to make his partners in communication feel inferior. You know, it's a dominance move. It looks nice at first. Oh, I'm offering my hand, but then this thing locks in.
My pleasure. Thanks for the invitation to be here.
Have you noticed how uncomfortable he has to kind of, you know, do this kind of thing to shake his hand? It's like, you know, it's not a natural thing. He has to be in this unnatural position, which kind of puts him a little bit off balance.
So I'm going to be in New York on Saturday.
Oh, good.
Yeah, for the parade. So marching on Fifth Avenue.
That's good. I'd like to do it with you. I don't know.
Does it pass Trump Tower?
So here's an interesting thing happening. Now the Prime Minister actually does this kind of thing. But now it's a forward plow. So it's interesting because now they're getting into a little bit more of a conversation. But because the intention is now on him, and because he's not that perfectly comfortable with Trump, he tries to play it nice, but his body language says, you know, I need to plow through you. You know, I need to defend myself. I need to be in defensive mode because now you're talking to me, and I know you're an uncomfortable person, so I do this. You know, I'm defending myself. At the same time, he wants to be nice, and he's quite professional about it, while at the same defending himself at the same time. But at the same time, he puts his head a little bit to the side, and he exposes his neck. It's like the opposite of a dominance move. It's like a move where you accept the superiority of your opponent. You present this part. You don't want to be threatening. If I'm threatening, I head on. You know, I protect myself, and you can't get to my neck. But if I'm kind of saying I don't want to attack, you go like this. Yeah, you know, I don't want to attack. You know, I'm kind of here. You could attack me because I'm not in for a fight. But at the same time, I'm protecting myself. So I'm saying I want to protect myself, but I'm not a threat. I'm just protecting myself. That's what he kind of saying. Because obviously, yeah, I mean, he's, you know, it's Ireland versus the United States of America, so there's a power difference as well. So I'm protecting myself. I'm not a threat, though. Notice I'm not a threat, but I'm protecting myself. That's the communication.
It does. It goes right by Trump Tower.
But he feels a little bit more comfortable now, and he puts his head back up. You know, there's some positive feedback he gets from Trump, so he can be straight again.
I used to watch it all the time. I would watch it all the time. So you'll be there on Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so
good.
a lot of the American side of my family came through New York. They're all in New Jersey and Florida now.
All right,
But some of them
that's
will be
right.
at the reception.
Okay, now he was talking about his family, and that makes him ease up. He even gave a thumbs up, so that's like a positive sign. That he did consciously, but still, it creates a positive atmosphere. He moves back to a position like this, which is kind of similar to this. It's not quite so defensive. Now, this is like a pretty strong defense. Even if I'm just like that, but if I'm like this, it's more like it's more gentle. So he feels less defensive now because there was this conversation about his family going on.
That makes sense. And this is the first time in the Oval Office. And
I
it's
was
special.
telling President Trump I was here before as a congressional intern back in 2000, but they didn't let me into the Oval Office. I'm not
But
again.
now we do.
So he's joking a little bit. There's also like a little bit of a sense of, yeah, well, I wasn't allowed in here. So he's smiling to himself. He looks inside. He has this kind of pleasant memories. At the same time, he knows he is not the stronger of the two partners in terms of of power. But he's feeling okay. He's feeling better.
You've made great progress. Thank you. Thank you for being with us.
Yeah, he said, you make great progress. So it's kind of like still a dominant statement, you make great progress, but it comes like from a top-down position, It's not like, wow, I admire you. It's like, yeah, you make great progress. And he gives his hand again. He does the same move again. And very interesting what happens now.